What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. And today we're talking about, drum roll please, Kevin Samuels. Now, Kevin Samuels is a hot topic all across Black YouTube, all across social media spaces. And you know me, I'm thirsty for content. So I'm definitely going to cover it with my broke ass. What? You already knew it was going to happen. Stop playing with me. This is what we do over here. But we're talking about this because Kevin has had, and still is, immense success with his 10 p.m. live stream. He's been doing so the last few months, and I'm very, very proud of that successful show. You know, it's just it's a killer show. People all across Black YouTube come by. You know, you'll see Michi X there, everybody there, everybody in Black YouTube is there, right? People from outside of YouTube. He's been on World Star Hip Hop, Media Takeout, the Roommates podcast. He's doing his thing. And I think the reason why is because the uniqueness of the content. And I talked about this before. Kevin does a marvelous job at being able to communicate to women, having a certain level of patience with female callers, which is something that I can't do. Y'all know me. When I have my call-in shows, I'm very petty. If you say something I don't like, I just hang up on you, right? Kevin doesn't deal with that. He's actually sophisticated in the way he operates his show. But there was one show that is kind of trending amongst the Black YouTube space. And, you know, a few brothers did responses to that show. But I want to talk about the show in question, what many get wrong about being high value. Again, high value is something that he talks about all the time. Solo TV 84, my bro here on YouTube, he did a response to that show, which is called "Why Some People Will Be Forever Alone." All right, and that did, you know, absolutely great. I was there in the chat room as he was putting that out there. But there was a particular lady that came on the show. All right, and this sister, she seems nice in a passive aggressive lady way, but it's quite obvious that you can tell she's is a lady that is gonna have a hard time getting a man. All right, and not only is she gonna have a hard time getting a man, what Kevin Samuels show has shown me is that many women do not want to work for a man that is a high earner or work for a man that has any sort of values. That's what I get from his show. All right? And it's repetitive every show. When they call in, when they come in on camera, they just don't. He explains it like every day, all the time. Like any normal person should be able to understand this. But what you keep hearing is what sisters want. They want what they want. They don't want to put the work in for it. Now, this is much different than black men. All right? African American men understand. If you want a hot chick, if you want a good looking woman, if you want to live in nice places, nice homes, you got to work for it. You have to. There's no getting it, because nobody's going to give you anything. But this is just not the case with the women that call in the Kevin Samuels show. It's just not the case. And I think this is the problem that we're having, while a lot of black men are, you know, disenfranchised from dealing with some sisters here and there. I think it's the expectations of what they need to do and what we need to do are completely different. I think it's being exposed day by day. They want us to do this and that and this and that. They don't have to do anything. All right? And every time he tries to explain it, they will get upset. They will get mad. They'll try to come back to when he talks about what women need to do, they'll make it what men need to do. Like it's always a divisive thing. It's always a combative thing. And let me do that. I know you're not gonna believe me. Let me actually play the soundbite, and I'll come back to it.
I don't feel like we have equal roles, but I feel like our roles are equally important.
They are. They have importance. But
Yes.
but as far as the equality, see, if you and I, we could have the rip roaring debate all we want to. But if you and I were laying in the bed and a bump went off in the night, it's my job to get up and go deal with that.
Right, that's part of your role. At the same time, it's part of a woman's role to make sure you have peace and to make sure how to.
Let me finish. But the thing is, one role supersedes the other. I have to be willing to die for a woman. You just have to be willing to follow a man.
But saying you're controlling our lives. Because
No. Now that's the thing about high value men don't control anything.
Well,
high value men, what we do, we don't control anything. We just tell you what we are not going to deal with, and you can choose whether or not you want to be there.
Well, that is controlling.
It's not controlling. It's an option. You don't have to be there. You have a choice.
I understand that, but that's not really giving someone an ultimatum. I mean, that's like basically saying it's my way or the highway.
It's not really. No, ma'am. It's not. If you don't like the job, you go find another job. You're not a slave.
That's what I'm saying. We're not a slave. So
fine. If you don't
why are we being treated as?
Okay. We're talking about generalities. Look. Men, okay, where's the civilization that women have ever built, created, and run?
Where the civilization that men have?
No, women.
Oh, I don't know.
They haven't. See, and that's part of the issue.
Our role isn't to build. Our role is to nurture.
Right, but one comes before the other. Without the building, we would still be tribes. We would still be living in caves and nomadic. We would have to follow the food sources. But when men started to collaborate together, we started society. This is anthropological and sociological. This isn't new. Human beings have learned how to see. One of the things I think, Janae, is interesting. Human beings for thousands and thousands of years have learned how to do this. But in the last 70, we want to flip everything on its ear and say that, well, you and I are equally important, and that was never in question before. But at some point, who leads?
Well, hopefully the men.
Why is there hope?
Because a lot of men aren't leading, or even leading properly, but hopefully the men.
Okay.
And
so when you say a lot of men aren't leading, that's two tracks. I deal with men who are high value men who are leading properly because they have the receipts to show in their life. They're doing just fine with what they're supposed to be doing. But the men who aren't leading properly, why do they have women?
Because there's not that many high value men to go around.
Okay, well, if you want a high value man, then you have you have several choices. You either can compete to get one, which he's going to give you your options. And do you want to compete to get one? And if you get one, it's going to be competitive. Can you get one and secure one? If high value men are the only options, then you have to do what it takes to get one of those. Or what are the other options? Not have a high value man?
Yeah, that's the other option.
So,
and if it's not, and which most men aren't, and so if that's the case, then men just have to evolve and learn how to.
Well, men aren't having the problem. Men aren't having the problem though. Society has always been set up for 30% of the men to never have children. Men have always accepted the fact that some would live through life and never reproduce. What society has never dealt with is so many women 30 plus who are unmarried and untethered to anything other than their jobs and their friends. So in Korea.
I think that's smart.
Huh?
I think that's smart.
Okay. Well, how is that smart? Well, let me ask you a question. If you go look in Korea, there ain't no black people over there. It's Koreans. In Korea, the amount of single women is bankrupting Korea. It's crippling the state because the system is not set up for so many women who are unmarried, no children, who are florists, who typically don't have jobs to where they build infrastructure. Women typically take from a society. Men typically build. So whereas you didn't need a large social safety net for men because if men are homeless, men are on the street, society doesn't care about those. But when women are homeless on the street, then it's a problem. But see, at some point, you have to say who is putting the money or the stuff into the economy that supports all these independent women, and it's still the men.
Okay.
At the end of the day, if you're the freest you've ever been, women in this country are more entitled to, you have more rights, more freedoms, more abilities than anything else, but happiness is through the floor. 25%. Because
I can tell you why.
Of course, it's always going to come back to men, though.
They haven't evolved with women.
Well, see, now, tell me, and this is where we're going to have a problem, because every time I talk about something that men do, I will let men be responsible. But your points tend to always go back to the men.
Okay, I can take that. I can understand that. I don't mean to do that, but I do see things from a woman's point of view. And so I'm just giving the other point of view, which is just, I think that things did evolve and women did change.
What do you mean did evolve? What's the evolution? What's the evolution? Hold on, let me explain what I mean by the evolution. The evolution is women have not evolved. Women have demanded more, but you still expect men to be traditional men, yet the average woman today is not a traditional woman. This is why female dating coaches, female relationship gurus are starting to pull back from working with women, because they can't even deal with women's unrealistic standards when it comes to men. Men are really simple. Men really want sex, sandwich, silence, and cooperation.
Yeah, men are really easy to keep. I mean, men are really easy to keep.
But if that's the case, why are so many women unmarried?
Because I mean, in my case, I break up with my boyfriends because I'm not going to just stay around just because of money, or I just feel like a lot of people haven't worked through their traumas. I know you talk about therapy a lot, and I do too. That's great. A lot of people don't work through their traumas, and they push blame. They don't know how to communicate.
Well, my question though is, why are they your boyfriend?
Because you don't realize that until into the relationship. Like they're good guys and they have a lot of great qualities about themselves.
I disagree wholeheartedly, because when I was broken, I picked broken people. I don't have those problems anymore. I don't have relationships that end poorly now. Even the ones that don't end in marriage, they don't end terribly.
My relationships don't end terribly. That's how I feel. I feel very positive about all my exes. I wouldn't bash them or say anything
but
negative.
But I also understand that women are women and men are men. And at the end of the day, who leads? And basically what I'm hearing is only a certain kind of man can lead. Only high value men can lead. So basically you're saying 90% of men should do
cannot
what?
lead.
If that's the case, then and here's the thing. If that's the case, and you want a man, you better make sure you better make sure you qualify for one of the 10% that can lead you.
All right, guys, you heard that. You heard what she had to say, all right, and what he was trying to say. Again, that she comes off like, very passive aggressive, and it's not really a big issue. Her attitude, because she's not being disrespectful in a way, but she's definitely not listening. And she always has an issue with blaming all the problems on somebody else. And this is where the rubber's going to meet the road. All right. I think that, for me, I don't have enough sense to do this show like he does. Hats off to him. Because I would have cussed her ass out and booted her off the show for sure. No doubt about it. I would have been like, you gotta go. I would have been like, I don't care about your money. You're getting off my show. But this is the problem that we're having, okay? Until society, our men, start to really show that, yo, you have to do something to get what you want, because they understand that with work, with education, with their jobs, they understand that they got to work to get that. When it comes to getting a man, they think that they owe that, because why? They have a degree. And that's the thing about what she's talking about. Like Kevin's talking about, you don't, just because you have a degree or a career, if you're, in debt $230,000 doesn't mean a lot to a man. And I think we're going to continue to have these problems in the black community when you're talking to, not all, but because some women do definitely get it. When you're talking to some women who definitely don't get it or pretend not to get it. And I think that this is a big issue here. All right, guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Subscribe, hit the bell. It's your boy. I really appreciate you. Go to the first comment pinned to the top. Thank you guys for your support. Check out the Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts in the first comment pinned to the top. Check out the Patreon, the PayPal, all of that stuff. And guys, as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.